This is a nebula, or also known as a stellar nursery. A nebula is a collection of space dust and gases, and it houses a protostar, or a baby star. After this stage, the protostar could either turn into
A star like our sun.
B, a huge star,
C, a giant star, which is over 3 times the mass of our sun, as opposed to a huge star, which is 1.5 to 3 times the mass of our sun.
After a star like our sun has run out of hydrogen to fuse and starts fusing helium, it turns into a red giant. After a huge star or a giant star has run its course and run out of hydrogen and starts fusing helium, it turns into a red supergiant.
This is a planetary nebula. This is a collection of space dust and gas. This is what happens after a red giant falls apart and starts to shed its gases. After a planetary nebula, the star turns into a white dwarf. A typical white dwarf has a temperature of 100,000 Kelvin, but is also very dim. Also, a typical white dwarf star is only about the size of Earth. A black dwarf is basically a dead star. After a white dwarf radiates all of its energy and heat off, it turns into a cold, black star.
After a red supergiant has extinguished its helium, it turns into a supernova, which is basically a big explosion. After a star's stage as a supernova, it can move into A neutron star, which is a very dense ball of neutrons, or
A black hole which has a mass so large that absorbs everything around it, even light itself.